from Earth. Other ways to view this, let me give you an updated tree of life. That's an updated tree of life done in a circular pattern. The beginning of time is in the center, and time extends outward. There's 3,000 species, names of 3,000 species written on the outer rim, but that's only like, 1/10 of 1% of the known species. So these are just sort of representative species there. And you see the continuous branching, and each branch contains a major sort of commonality of DNA, but in the end, everything comes back because we're all connected. So you say, well, where are we? Oh, okay, we must be up in the animals part, because we're not fungi, and we're not plants, I'm pretty sure of that. So let's zoom into that. Oh, so you are there. Oh, there we are. There we are. Oh, no, I got to get closer. Wait, got to get closer. Oh, yep, let me get a little closer. There we go, Homo sapiens. There we go, all pixelated out. There we go. There we go. By the way, seeing trees of life written this way tell us with great strength that it's not we who dominate the earth, we're sort of participants in an unfolding of the earth with all the other life forms. And more on that in a moment. I want to offer you, in this denouement of my presentation, just a sense of where we are in the universe. And the only way I can do that is to get you familiar with numbers and their size. So here's the number one written 3 ways, needs no introduction. If you're unfamiliar with scientific notation, the 0, that's sort of the exponent there, tells you how many places to the right. The decimal has moved to the right of the 1, and it hasn't moved at all, so it's 0, right? A familiar number. Let's go up by a factor of 1,000. The decimals move 3 places. You got 10 to the 3rd, 1,000, metric prefix kilo. I note here and now that drug dealers were metric long before Americans were, okay? Kilos, it was like, first time I ever heard the word kilo were drug busts. I say, wow, they're metric, that's cool. That's all I thought. I was a nerd kid, so that was an okay thought. It wasn't 50 pounds of cocaine. No, they're measuring it in metric. Go up by another factor of 1,000, you get 1,000,000, one with 6 zeros. Remember when computer strength was measured in megabytes and mega? There are 8 million people living in New York. 8 of these are my neighbors in New York. Go up by another factor of 1,000, you get to 1 billion. Carl Sagan's favorite number. In fact, if you bring your chin out and say the word billion, it sounds beautiful. We'll do it together on 3. Ready? First, stick your chin out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, billion. Oh, isn't that beautiful? That's just beautiful. That's just beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. Billion. That's a fun number. Anyone here 31 years old? Raise your hand. Got to be a few of you. Very nice. In this year of your life, you will live your 1,000,000th second. Yes, I'm geeky enough to have calculated this. 31 years, 259 days, 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 40 seconds. But you have to account for leap days and leap seconds, okay? I'm going to try to make an app that'll do this, but I haven't done it yet. I've been busy doing other things. But I celebrated my own 1,000,000th second with a really small glass of champagne. 50 of these billions. Let's see, I think a neighbor of yours, he's a neighbor, right? Isn't he? He's like, you see him around town, I presume? Not, okay. His net worth is like $50 billion, plus or minus. I don't know if you know how much that is. I don't believe you know. You don't. In fact, I'm certain you don't, because I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you how rich this man is. First of all, I'm charmed by the fact that the patron saint of geeks is the richest man in the world. That's a different world than it was when the richest people were sort of oil barons and steel barons. It's like a geek is the richest guy in the world. That's kind of cool. But 50 billion, I did this math because I walk along the street. You know, I have a job and I own a home, and I'm walking down the street, and I see a coin in the street. My question to myself is, what is the smallest denomination coin that I'll bend down and pick up? Okay? Given the fact that I have a job, I own a home. So, the penny is staying. I'm not getting the penny. The nickel, no, I'm not getting the nickel. Dime, if I'm not in a hurry, I'm picking up the dime. Okay? A quarter, well, that's good for parking meters and laundry. Plus, it's a quarter, right? So I'm picking up the quarter. So for me, the boundary between picking up the coin and not is between a dime and a quarter. So I figured, let me ratio this up to that wealth and ask, how much money has to be laying in the street for Bill Gates to be too busy to pick it up? It's $45,000, okay? That's what it is. $45,000, I said, too busy. Somebody else get that. I got. That's how rich the man is, in case you didn't know. Let's go to 100 billion. I've seen this number before. Where have I seen it? McDonald's. Actually, they had like a Y2K problem with their accounting. They didn't have a third spot, so they went to 99. Then after that, they just said, after Carl Sagan visited them, what do they now say? Billions and billions, of course. But I remember when they had 100 billion, if you lay those hamburgers end to end, you can do this. Start right here in Seattle. Go right across the Pacific Ocean, float them on a little plate. And you can come around back and come right back here to Seattle, across the Europe, the Atlantic, the United States, and come right back here with your 100 billion hamburgers, and you can do that 52 times. Then with what's left over, you can stack them with what's left over and make a stack high enough to reach the moon and back. Then you would have laid out your 100 billion hamburgers. This is terrifying news to cows, all right? I just want you to know. Also 100 billion. Do you realize that in 1 linear centimeter of your lower colon lives and works 100 billion microbes, which is a bigger number, about the same number, as the total number of human beings who have ever lived. That's what's going on in your lower intestine. Yet we like to think that we're actually in charge of things. But from the point of view of the bacteria, we are just a warm, dark, anaerobic location for fecal matter. It's just a reality check here, okay? We tend to make things nicer for ourselves with words. Like what's the book that has optical illusions? Who doesn't like a good optical illusion? Of course, that's not what they are. They're brain failures. That's what it is. Oh, I can't figure it out. Is the line in or out of the page? Oh my gosh. Those books should be called brain failures. A few more, and then we got a trillion. By the way, can you count to a trillion? Where's my 31-year-old? Yeah, so if you counted one number per second since birth, you'd just be getting to a billion about now. So if you wanted to get to a trillion, which is 1,000 times bigger than a billion, how many years would that take you? 31,000 years, right? It's simple math. It takes 31 years to count to a billion, 31,000 to count to a trillion, so definitely don't try that at home. A trillion seconds ago, somebody painted those on a cave in Lascaux, France. False. Have you ever heard the joke? It's like a really stupid, self-deprecating joke. They say, you know, the French, they don't even have a word for entrepreneur.